We'll learn strings in Python in great detail. So we are going to cover how Python stores strings into memory internally, how it works. So when you look into these internal things, how Python interpreter works with string, how it manages in the memory, these things are going to give you an extra edge. I mean, you are now knowing all the internal things in Python. So your coding will be go to the next level. We are also going to cover some of the basic string formatting, string, slicing too, how slicing works in Python, and also we'll see 4 or 5 popular methods which we can apply to the string. So I'm guarantee you that if you stick to this video up to end, so you are going to learn a lot of new things today and you are going to enjoy for sure. Let's jump in today's session, strings in Python. We have a greet variable here which defined with a hello world text, and this hello world text enclosed with a quotation. So whenever you create a string in Python, you always enclosed with the quotation mark. The string is in Python set as an array-like structure like this. You see here that each of the character in this string has an index associated with it, and index always start with 0. Now, if you notice here that this blank in hello world also has an index 5. When you are creating a string in Python, you can use double quotation as well as you can also use single quotation mark too. Both the case, the result is same. So it's more or less in your preference if you are going to use a single quotation or double quotation, and also the matter of consistency. So if you prefer double quotation mark, then I suggest you always use double quotation mark in throughout your code. Otherwise, whoever is going to read your code later, that will be a problem for them. Another point is also it based on the value you are have in your text. For example, you have a value like this. This is Prashanjit's card. You see, you have a here single quotation for this apostrophe. Now in this case, if you would use like this single quotation mark, then you have a problem. You will get an error if you execute it. See, we got an error now. So in this case, we always use double quotation mark or single quotation mark based on the value you have in your text. And let's say you have a multi-line text. So you have a 3-4 line text. In that case, you should use triple quotation. For example, I have a triple 3-line text here. In this case, you should use a triple quotation mark. Python supports multi-line text with the triple quotation. Let's execute this. It's working fine. See? So that means Python support double quotation, single quotation and triple quotation. Now based on your usage, you should use it. Now in Python, string are immutable. That means you cannot make any changes in the string object. What that mean? To understand it, we need to know how Python handle this string under the hood in the memory. Let's try to understand that. Okay, so when you have a variable greet which set to a string object hello world, so let's say you have a memory in your computer, right? RAM. Now the Python interpreter uses a portion of your RAM. Let's say this is the portion of your RAM Python interpreter is using. When Python interpreter is using this RAM, it divides into 2 parts. One is a stack, another is a private heap. Now this hello world, which is your text, which is a string object. By the way, everything in Python is object. String, number, data types, method, everything is object. And always remember that any object in Python always stores into the private heap. And this greet variable always stored into the stack. Now how it's stored in this hello world, this particular string object, how it's stored into the private heap. You can think the private heap as big storage, and in this storage you have a different shelves in it. Okay, and different shelves has also a different addresses, unique addresses, and this particular string object will store in one of that shelf which has a unique address. And here we are saying the unique address is a kind of ID, unique ID, and this greet variable stores that unique address or the unique ID of this particular string object. So that means the greet variable is not storing the string object directly. Instead of that, is storing the reference of that object into the memory. That is the address. Now, if you create a copy of this grid variable to grid2, so you create a new variable grid2 and you make a copy of this grid variable in the grid2, like grid2 equal to grid. What happened? Grid2 does not create a separate object in the memory. Instead of that, it copied reference of this grid2. Grid is copied to the grid2. So now grid2 also point to the same object in the memory because it has the same reference copied into grid2 now. Now let's say you create another variable called grid3 and you set the same exact text into that hello world. In that case also Python does not create a separate object in the memory. In this case also Python will see in the if this particular text somewhere in the memory or not. If it is there, it will get this address, or what is the unique address of that, in this memory, and it stores that the grid3, it stored that address in the grid3. So grid3 will also point to the same object in the memory because the text is same. By the way, when this hello world string is storing in the memory, is storing as a machine code. Just for that's why you're seeing 00110 because machine codes is like that, right? But concept is clear, I guess. Python checks if that particular text is already in the memory, then it gets the object reference, that particular object reference of that in the memory, and it copied that into the new variable. And so new variable does not create a new object in the memory anymore. It actually point to the same object into the memory. Let's say assign a new text in the grid3 variable called hi. What will happen is that grid3 will no more point to the old hello world object anymore. It will point to a totally new object, and Python will create a new object in the memory. It will have a unique address, and grid3 will have that address stored, new address stored, and that particular address will point to the new object in the memory called hi. Hope it is clear. Now, how Python manages all these things in back. What happens is it manages three things. One is value. It stores the value like hello world. It also have a type. Which type this particular object is? Its type is string. It also have the reference count. I will show you into the code also. And it in the reference count, it manages that how many times this particular object is referred into the code. For example, this here grid hello world referred 3 times, right? So for example, when it started, let's say reference count was 3. Now when I copied to grid2 equal to grid, now reference count become 3 plus 1, 4. Then when I create a new variable grid3 with the same text hello world, now reference count become 4 plus 1 to 5. Now when I change the grid3 to hi, grid3 is no more point to the hello world. That time the reference count of this hello world become 5 minus 1, 4. So this way Python manages it. So when the reference count becomes 0, that clean up the memory from that object. This how the Python manages in background all the objects. Specifically here we are talking about string. A string is an immutable object, so like this way Python manages it in the memory. Let's look this concept in action, okay, with the code. So we have a grid variable which set to the hello world now, and we are printing grid. Now here let's print the ID of the grid, this particular hello world object. As I said, ID is the unique ID into the memory, right? And we are printing that ID here. As well as we are also printing the grid reference count. So reference count will start with 4, okay? See here we are printing the hello world first grid, and here what is the ID for grid is this 1472, and this is the 4 is the reference count. Now let's say we have creating a new variable grid2 equal to grid. Now let's print the ID of this grid2 as well as the what is the reference count of grid now. Once we have make a copy. Now the ID of grid2 we are printing it, and this is the reference count of grid. So it was 4 before, and the grid ID was 1472, this one, okay? Now let's run it. The same ID, grid2 and grid have the same ID. That means it refers to the same object in the memory. That proves our first point, right? When I make a copy, it's point to the same object in the memory. And also you see the reference count was 4, Now it's now increased to 5. 4 plus 1, 5. Now let's create a new variable grid3, and we are also setting the exactly same text like grid. Okay, and let's print the ID of grid3, as well as we are also printing the what is the reference count of grid now. Let's save it and run it. Okay, grid3 ID, you see, exactly same as the grid2 ID and grid ID. So that proves again the third point. When you're creating a new variable and we are exactly same text we storing their hello world, then it's point to the same address in the memory. It does not create a new object there in the memory. Same address in the memory. And also reference count now 5 plus 1, 6. Reference count also increasing. It started with 4 in grid. Then when grid 2 we introduce, then the reference count is 5. When we have the grid 3 with the same object, the reference count is now 6. Okay, great. Now let's change to the grid 3 text. Okay, now I am saying grid 3 equal to hello Prosenjit. Now let's print the grid 3 now, as well as print the what is the ID now. Text has been changed. Now it's hello world to hello Prosenjit, and a grid 3 ID also changed. That means it's created a new object in the memory which has a new unique ID or address, and grid 3 is storing that address now. That is 4864, which is different than grid 2 and grid before. Previously grid 3 was exactly same as grid 2 and grid. Now grid 3 is pointing to the different unique address with the different text object. Hope it clears to you. Okay, we have a grid variable which set to the hello world text. In Python, how it stored, we know it stored has an array like structure, right? And each of the character in this variable, this particular text, has an index, and index always start with 0 in Python. So H has an index 0, E has a 1, L has a 2, then L has a 3, and O has a 4. And also the blank one also has an index 5. Now let's see in the code how it works. Say you want to print it HELLO hello. So how will you do it? We have an index. So grid 0 is, if I write like this, grid and then the bracket and 0, if I like this, I will get the H here. This is the syntax. Now if I next 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, like that. And now if I print it, I will get a hello here. I got the hello here. But it's too much work, right? And it's not looks good. I have a better syntax for it. So let me show it to you. Okay. This syntax, which I'm going to show you, that's called the slicing of the string. So how it works, let's say you want to get the hello from here. Okay. Then how we'll do it? The syntax start with like this. You will mention the what is your first index, from where you want to start the text. You want to start from the first one, like H. Then you will mention 0 here. Then you'll put colon, and then you will mention how many characters you want when you're going to access the string, and it always calculate from the original string. So for example, I want to get the first 5 character, then I will mention 5 here. But remember, always 5 always will be calculated from the original string, not from the first index you are starting with. Instead of that, it always start with the original one. Let's say now we are starting with 0. You may later point want to start from the 1 or 2, but this 5 will be always calculate from the original, that is start with 0 index. Okay, hope it is clear to you. And next one is the colon. Next colon, it gives the step. Okay, step means that how many step you want to consider. Now by default, if you do not give also this one, it also will consider step 1. Okay, it will give you the exact same result if you are giving it or not. Let me show you. See, I got the hello here. Great. And I said that I put the step here 1. So I got each and every one. Now, if instead of 1, I mention 2 here, then what will happen? It will get each alternate character in the hello. So it will start with 0, that is H. It will consider 5 characters from the original string like this 5 character, and I said the step is 2. That means it will take alternate one. It will take H, then it will take L, and then it will take O. See, I got H, L, O. Now let's say I want to start the index from say E, okay, and I want to get up to world. Then what I'll go do? So I want to start from E. That means our first 0, 1. This is a 1 index, and I want to get up to world. How many character we have? We have a 5 here, and then I have a space 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I will mention 11 here. I am not consider the exclamation here. I just taking up to world. So 11, right? And step is 1 because I want to get everything there. I start with E, so LO world. I think hope you are getting it. Now if you change the step to 2, what will happen? You will get, each alternative one. E, first I got the E, then L, then there is a space, then I got O, and then L. That's it. So ELOL. Great. Now I want to show you a small trick here. You want to get with this slicing. Okay, this is very powerful, by the way. So you will, let's say you do not mention anything here, for example. Okay, and you also do not mention anything here, and step is anyway not mandatory, just omitting it. So I just put like this. Then you will get exact copy of the hello world, because when you are not mentioning anything, by default it says that it starts with 0. When you are not mentioning how many character, it takes the whole string, okay, start to end. Now if you run it, you will see you get the exact copy of the original string. And I told you that I'm going to show you a trick, right? Let's say mirror image of your text, that is you want to get the reverse order. How will you do it? You put second colon and put -1. So what I'm saying here, let me explain it to you, is start with 0, because I'm not mentioning anything. It will take everything, all characters, okay, so start to end, you are going to get everything, and I'm telling that in the step start with -1, that means go backward. So when you see the -1, it will start from here and go up to this. If you run it, you see I got the exact reverse of the hello world. Cool, right? But by the way, this is very powerful. Lot of things I want to tell this in slicing, but in this video is getting very longer, so I am going to create a separate video for slicing, and there I will exclusively consider cover everything in slicing in detail. This is very powerful. Okay, let me show you some string formatting here. Let's say you have a variable called f name, and it's set to your first name, Prosenjit here. I have another variable, say L name, there's a last name, and I have my last name stored here, Ghosh Chaudhary. Now I want to show you how you can concatenate both of them. I want to have a output like my name is Prosenjit Ghosh Chaudhary, full stop. How will do it? So you can have a full name variable there, and there I mention in the quotation my name is, okay, and then space, then for concatenation we use plus in string, okay, and then f name, that is the variable which has a string Prosenjit, then plus. Now I want to have a space between Prosenjit and Ghosh Chaudhary, then I need to put a space here like this, and then plus L name, then plus a full stop, right? And then I want to print it, right? Good. Let's run it first. Yeah, I got my name is Prosenjit. Perfect. But don't you think that this is too much work? I mean, too much thing you need to remember. You are putting the string here, then you plus, and then you have a variable f name. Then you need to remember that I need to put a space. So again you are concatenating a space here, then again last name, and then you need to remember I need to put a full stop, again concatenation and full stop. Lot of thing is going here. I have a better syntax for you here. So let me show you that. Okay, instead of that, we can write the same thing like this. This is called f string. The syntax is you write f, and then you just type as it is your string. Here you're typing my name is, this is single quote, double quote, anything you can use here. Here I'm using single quote, you can use a double quote also like this, doesn't matter. Now you just type it, my name is, and you put a space, and whatever the variable you have, you want to put into your string, okay, or format in your string, you just put into the curly braces. So here I have variable f name, then I'm giving a space, and then I have a L name in the curly braces, and then enclose the string with the quotation mark. And we start with the F. This is called F string character. This is very powerful. Say I am saying that same result, you see, print it, so you will understand. Exactly same thing, same result. Yeah, okay, here you can put the full stop also. So this is very powerful and very easy to use. So this is much better syntax, F string, and I always suggest you use F string when you do the formatting. I always use this in my code. This is much powerful, much easier, much simpler. Okay, and as I said, this is not only the concatenation. F string has a more power. I again going to show the F string also in detail in a separate video, because it will take a long time to show you all the F string tips and tricks. And when you know the F string tips and tricks, the playing with the string will be a piece of cake for you. Okay, I'm telling you. So in the next two videos, one I am going to show you the slicing of the string. Another video I am going to also shoot for you, that is the F string. What are the tips and tricks for F string? So these both are really coming in by next week. Okay. Like other objects in Python, string also has its own method which you can apply on any string in Python, and you can check those methods with the dir command. I think I already told you before, but here let me show you again. So if you print this like dir and then put any string in between, here I have a f name string is there, I'm putting that, but you can use any string here. Let's execute this one and print it. You see, we have so many methods in Python. Let me make it a little bigger for you. So we have around 46 methods here like this. I am not considering the dunder method, the methods which has this underscore, double underscore. This is called dunder method. I am not considering those we generally do not use in day-to-day work, but I am considering this all 46 methods you can apply on any string in Python. And you can make some as per your requirement, and this is very cool and very useful. So let me show you some of them, how you can use it. As it is these are methods, so you can use it a dot operator. I'm going to show you how we can execute these methods, and later point of time we will cover in 46 all methods together in other video. But let me show you how you can apply this method of in any string. Let's say I have the first name, f name string with me, right? Procedure is all kind of the first one is the capitalized, last other letters here all in lowercase. I want to make it uppercase everything. Then what will there's an upper method. So I am applying that method on this string. How I am applying? So you have a string with you, and then you have a dot notation, and then after dot notation you are calling that method. Okay, let's print it. See, now this Prosenjit become all caps. Now let make it all lower. Okay, there is another method called lower that also you can apply on it. Cool, right? Now let me comment it out. Now let's say in Prosenjit there are some extra space there. This is very useful, this particular method I'm going to show you. Now you want to remove this space which is on the left hand side. There is a method called lstrip. You can use that method, lstrip. Okay, this is the method. Let's run it. I have this Prosenjit with all the spaces in left hand side. When I use the lstrip method, it removed those spaces. Okay, now let's say Prosenjit is all lowercase, but you want to make sure that first character is in uppercase. Okay, how will do it? Very easy. What you are going to do is, there is a method called capitalize. Okay, but by the way, when you are using VS Code, when you put the give your string and then use a dot notation, dot like this, you have all the methods which will can apply on the string is come here. So you just start typing it. Let's say you are capitalized, then it will show you this method. You just select it. That's it. T become capitalized here. Now I am changing it to lowercase just to make sure it's working fine. Now Prosenjit is all lowercase. See this, when I use the capitalized method, it become the P is capital. Okay, another useful method I want to show you, that is split. Okay, that also you use a lot in your programming. So you already know the list, right? I already created video. If you didn't watch it, you can go back and watch it, and I will put the description box and the comment section. I'll put the link. Now let's say you're printing the full name here. Okay, so my name is Prashanth Kochi. Very good. Now you want to make each of them as items in a list. You want to create a list out of it, and your requirement is each of the word will be in a list. Okay, how you do it? There is one method called split. So you have a variable L, and there are going to store the list. Now full name, I have the string with me, and there is a method called split. Okay, and let's print this L. Okay, let's see what we get. Perfect. You see, when I use the split here, it creates a list out of it of this string, and each of the word in the string are become an item of the list. Okay, and I printed it. Perfect. So, but these things we use a lot in our day-to-day program. As always, I am going to upload today's video in the GitHub repository, and you can access from there. I am going to give the link to the description box as well as the comment section. I really enjoyed today's video when I'm shooting it. I hope you also enjoyed it and learned something new. If you enjoyed it, then please hit the like button and share with others. I'm going to cover this string in details in the next 2-3 videos, where we're going to cover slicing, F string in details, and all 46 methods in string. So after that, nothing will be untouched in string for you in Python. I hope you do not want to miss those. So if you are not member in this channel yet, please hit the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel, as I upload new videos every week, at least twice. So it will help you in your coding journey. Okay, see you very soon again. Till then, happy learning, happy coding. Bye. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share it with others. If you are new to this channel and not subscribed yet, then please hit the subscribe button so that you will get notified when I upload new content. See you in the next video. Till then, keep learning and happy coding.